Hello. You're getting into your third chapter in Excel, and we're starting to do some real interesting formulas. And this is just we're just touching the surface again. Excel is a very powerful program, and I'm hoping that those of you that are truly interested will be enrolling in the CIS 216 class that will come up in the spring. Anyway, what I want to tell you is that what I want you to be noticing here is these tables. See, there's a table down here, and let me go to one of the other sheets that you're creating. See, another table down at the bottom, and this is the one you'll be creating in the tutorial. And the thing is that table down at the bottom is we're using for referencing formulas. Those formulas that we're creating are called absolute cell references. Anything that comes down to this lower table is an absolute cell. So what I'm going to do is turn on my formulas so that you can see. If you look here, see these that are down here in column B, rows 18 through 25, all have these little dollar signs in front of them. And that's because those are absolute. What happens is you generate and you create the formula, and then you turn it around and make it absolute so that when you copy across, the cells don't change. See, notice here, this one started with B4, it changed to C4, but the absolute cell did not. And that's the way the absolute cell references work. And that's the reason why you have a table in some location. It does not have to be this at the bottom of the sheet. It doesn't have to be at the top. It could be in a separate sheet altogether, but it's still an absolute cell reference. So what I'm going to do is to go through just the formulas on these sheets because I want you to understand how to build the formulas, and then we'll go through I mean, the formatting portion is not as important to me, so we're just going to go with that, the formulas at this point, and you can do the formatting on your own. So the next sheet that you see is going to be without this formatting, and that's because that's just that's what that's the direction I'm planning to go. And then you'll do the rest by following the instructions in the book. So give me a second. So I'm going to pause the video here. On page EX 129, they have you formatting these decimals and dollar signs. And what you want to do is to make sure that when you do the decimal, see what happens is that when it didn't go out the decimal places. So what they wanted was percentage 2 decimal places, and that'll give you your percentages. And since the bottom 4 of these are all the same format, I'm going to use my format painter and grab those, and I have all 4 of the bottom ones. And then I have these here, and we've got them at comma style. So that kind of gives us all our decimals lined up and our layout for these what if assumptions that we're creating. On the first row, I've already input the data that the book is telling you to create, and there what you're going to do is just have that also formatted comma style, so you can just click on the comma to get it going. Okay, the first function that you're doing is in H1, and it's called a now function. And what that does is it gives you the internal date of your computer. So if I hit my insert function and I find the now on my list, it may not be there. These are the most recently used ones, so they change, they fluctuate. So if it's not there, you can find it in the date and time, and you just search for now, because there's lots of different ones to use. And we're using now, and we click on OK. And what that does is it puts the function, and then it automatically goes to this format. Now they're telling you to change the format, and we're using date, and I believe they're we're going to the format feature here, and you're choosing date, and they're choosing the which one here? They're saying with 2, 2, and 4. So that would be, it would, well, 2, 2, and 4. I guess we're going with this first one then. That would be the right format. See, mine came up with the time, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, and it'll come into the right format that we want to use for this date. On this page 132 of your text, if you come down the list, you'll see the examples of the absolute and relative and mixed cell references. These are real important. You're not going to be doing a lot of them, but it's nice to know how they work. And see, if there's $2 it means that both the column and the row references remain the same when you copy it. And then if there's just $$ in front of the number, it's just the row does not change, and in front of the letter, then it's just the column does not change when you copy it. So it's just kind of, it gives you some good examples on how these absolute and relative cell references work. I would say this is a very important page for you to read and understand. Okay, let's take a look at this spreadsheet now. What we're doing is we're taking the money that we've received from this Katie's ice cream shop. This is the money she received each month, and we're trying to decide what our normal cost of goods would be. So that would be our percentage margin down here. And so what we're going to do is what we're doing here is we're taking and we're building a cell that's going to reference this absolute cell in the bottom. Now, so what I would do is I'd start with my equal sign. I'd say, okay, I want to take the revenue and I want to multiply, and I'm going to take and I'm going to do 1 minus that margin. See, so I'm going to be clicking right here. Now, now I need to make the absolute. I don't want to type $signs. I have a real easy way to do it, and I'm going to do that very quickly. Your textbook mentions this on EX 135, and if there's anything you want to highlight, it's right here. This is your F4 function key that you're using to change the reference from a relative to reference to an absolute cell reference, and that's what we're working with. So let's see if I can get that to happen. And add the highlight. That's what I want right there. So that's the area that's real important to you, and you want to mark that one in your book. Okay, let's proceed with our formula. All I'm doing now is making that absolute, and that's my F4 function key. And see, that puts the $signs in, and then I close my parentheses off, and I'm good to go. Now, all the gross margin is that money that I took in, and I subtract the cost of goods that I just created. So now let's go down to the expenses. In the expenses, we're saying that the bonus equals okay, they get a bonus if their sales revenue is over the sales revenue for bonus, which is the $65,000. So they would get that much money, $3,500, if the sales for January were that high. So January obviously is not that high, but we're still going to build this statement. And this is called an if statement, which is one of the most common programming statements you use. And I say programming only because it's not just Excel. It's if you're planning to go into computer programming of any sort, you'll learn how to do an if statement. And an if statement always has 3 major components. Now what I've done is brought up the screen just so you can see, and then I'll bring it up again. But the 3 major components are the logical test, and that's this section right here. And then you have a true component and a false component. In this case, the logical test is if this sales is higher than that sales revenue. So I can go this way. My logical test would be this sales is greater than the sales revenue for the bonus, then they get the bonus. So I just have to click on that. Ooh, sales revenue for the bonus came down here. So I need to put in my F4 function key. And now I say they came in here. And I hit my F4 function key again. And if not, they get a 0. They don't get any bonus. Okay. Now this is going to happen so fast, you're going to go, oh my gosh. So I'm going to demonstrate it a second time, but just watch what happens. Okay. If I now copy this across, any of these sales that's over that 6,500, they got the bonus. So let me come back to my if statement and show you how it worked again. I hit my FX, which is my insert function option, and I found if on the list. If happens to be most recently used. If not, it was going to be over here in logical, or you can just run a search from all at the top and just type in the word if and you'll get it. So here I am, I'm back to my function and I'm saying, okay, if the sales are greater than the sales revenue for bonus, and that's an F4 function key, then they get the bonus, F4 function key. If not, then they don't get anything. And now that one's finished. And it's just that simple. Okay, the next one we're calculating the commission, and we're saying, okay, equals whatever that revenue is times the commission percentage. That's it. And F4 function key, I'm in. And now equals again, it's the revenue again, times, and this is the site rental. And so I'm coming here on that percentage and F4 function key, boom. Next one equals the revenue again times the marketing percentage, F4 function key, enter. Last one equals revenue times equipment repair and maintenance, F4 function key, I'm done. Now, and then I'm going to total this up with just using my auto sum feature, which we've already learned, and enter. The last one is the operating income, and that's the operating income is going to be the gross margin minus the expenses. So I just have to click out equals gross margin minus expenses. And no F4, I didn't come down to the what if assumptions at all, so just enter. Now the last portion that I see that I need to fix is that this needs to be formatted. So I'll just do it all comma style. And possibly this one here is going to be accounting style. So now, at this point, all I have to do is copy these across. I got them in. So I would take in and grab just these cells that I've just created all the formulas for, go with my fill handle, come all the way across to June, and my formulas are done. Now, this one, I had the formula already in there, but if you were going to do this one, you could just do the auto sum and enter, and then the same thing here, and just take out the formulas on the blank rows. Okay. I believe these will probably be currency as well. I would have to look at the final result to make sure. When I look at the final result, I do see some things that I did wrong in my demonstration so far. The formatting was not accounting style. And I know that because these dollar signs are right next to the totals. And notice the entire total row. It was only the first row of each area. So I'll come back and fix that. And so I'm doing this first row. Well, I can take the formatting off here. Clear the format. And it was this first row. And then instead of accounting style, we're coming in and we're doing currency. and it's 2 decimals, and the symbol is the $sign. Okay, that threw my decimals off down here, so what they want there are, again, currency with no dollar, none here, but now see my decimals will line up. So let's put these others back to the same format painter to there. And I believe, let's come over and look at our result again. I need to do, okay, I need to do the total row, the first of the total row, and then, so we're going to come back. And again, we got the format painter. We want to do format painter on the first of this row, and format painter on that one. Okay, and then here I think I did all of this one already, yeah, because I use this format. Okay, so now some of the other formatting is just using your styles, and I don't know that I need to spend a lot of time on that because I think it's a total review for you. But if you look, there's one more thing that you're going to be doing, and it's called a Sparkline chart. And that's done by the data that comes up in the chart. And so in this case, we would come in and we would insert a spark line, which is here. And I think it's a column, and we need a range. Now, we don't want to include the total in on the range, so you're just going with the items here. And it's, hit enter, and we're good. And now we can just copy it down. And notice the spark lines didn't come up on these rows that were empty, and that's a nice feature. Okay, so I'm going to let you finish the rest of it. You're going to be doing an expense chart, and you also are going to be doing the rest of the formatting, but I've shown you how to do the formulas, and I think that gives you a good plus. There's only one other exercise that I want to make sure that I show you that formula because it is complicated. So I'm going to go over there now. This, in your lab that you're going to be doing you'll start it on the prior page, but here on page 182, towards the bottom, I mean, each one of these gives you an idea how to set up these formulas, and some people have a little bit of trouble with them, but they're not as bad. The worst one here is this one right here. Okay, and you really got to read it. It says, calculate the federal tax withheld, and here I'll highlight it for you again. Let's see if I can get it. For heaven's sakes, it's trying to get all of it. Okay, calculate the federal tax withheld if an employee has a taxable income greater than or equal to 689. Then the federal tax withheld is 110 plus the federal tax rate found in cell B10 and multiplied by the taxable income in excess of 689. Just the whole comment is terrible, but let me create the formula for you so you can get a better idea. Okay, so we're saying that, and this is an if statement, and we're saying that, okay, what's logical? Calculate the federal tax withheld if the employee has a taxable income greater than or equal to 689. Okay, so we're saying that if this is greater than or equal to 689, okay, then the federal tax withheld is 110.85. Oops. 85 plus, and this is the federal tax rate, and I put that in there on purpose, the parenthesis, because I know that I need to multiply this one. The federal tax plus the federal tax rate found in B19. So we need to go to B19. B19 would be down here. F4 function key. Okay, because that says 689 plus, and we hit F4. Multiplied by the taxable income in excess of 689. So it's going to be times the taxable income, let's say that would be another parenthesis. So it would be taxable income minus the 689. Gotcha. Okay, if an employee's taxable income is 689 or less, the federal tax equals the taxable income multiplied by the federal tax rate found in B18. So I would come, okay, so I come here and I say, okay, then that's this one, F4 function key, times that. Oops. Oh no, how would I do? Oh, I forgot to put the multiplication in, so I can get it from here. I can say taxable income times federal tax under, there, and then there. Okay, let's see what happens. Got it. Nope, there's something wrong with my 110. The taxable income, it was a parenthesis. So I'll do it again. If I do it this way and I say, okay, I take the taxable income is greater than or equal to 689, then we take the 110.85 and we add the B here, the 24% F4 function key times, and it would be the taxable income. See, no, it was one, or what was it? Oh, yeah, this minus 689. There you go. And it was, I forgot to add that extra parenthesis. That's what messed me up. Okay, so now this one is the taxable income times the 14%. 4. Okay, it'll work now. Sorry. So, good point there was what's going on with this formula. Okay, let's take a real good look at it. It's right here, and we see, okay, it's saying, larger view, view. Okay, so it's saying that we're taking whatever's in F4 and it's got to be greater than 689. Then we're taking the 110 plus the whatever in B19, and that's absolute, times whatever in F4 minus 689. It was just, I forgot to put the extra parenthesis over here. And then the false portion is the F4 times B18. And remember, those are the tables that are down towards the bottom here, and the particular tax rates. So that is a complicated one. If you'd like me to do it again, I'll do one more quick one for you with the larger screen, and then we'll be done with this one. So let's see, I'm going to take these off, and we do equal. Oh no, we don't have to do the equal sign yet. We're going to go to if. Pull the if function. It puts the equal sign in for us, and we say, okay, logical assumption, taxable income is greater than or equal to 689. Then we come here, and the true portion would be 110.85 plus, and we're saying that we're coming down to the federal tax percentage here, F4 function key, times, then we're saying the taxable income minus the 689, and don't forget that last parenthesis, and then we're saying, okay, if not, the false portion would be whatever the taxable income is times the other tax rate, which is federal tax under 689 right here. And there you go. And we're good to go. And now we can just copy it down. And you're good. That's it. So it is difficult. I know. And that's the reason why I wanted to make sure that I showed you this one. Some of the other formulas I think I've got written out for you, but if you want to take a quick peek, here's your formula set up, and let's get these expanded for you. And what you can do is just, you've got it up through this portion of the exercise, and you can just copy that screenshot for yourself. That'll help you with the formulas. Okay, that's it. And have a great day.